Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, February 22nd, and this message is for next week. Actually, it's for where we are this week, but primarily I want to talk about next week, which is the week of our midterm exams. So, the first thing I want you to know is that for every class, there are several times that you can choose to take your exam. I've posted this on our Moodle pages, so you can see that every day of next week, Monday the 1st of March through Friday the 5th of March, there is a time period of at least 2 hours when you can take the midterm exam. So, for example, on Monday, you could take it between 3 and 5. On Tuesday, you could take it either between 7 and 9 in the morning or 3 and 5 in the afternoon. On Wednesday, there's the time slot is between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. Thursday, you can take it from noon to 2, or Friday, you can take it anytime between 1 and 5 p.m. Now, some of you are in more than one class, so you'll have to choose more than one time period. The way that the midterm exam works for everybody, the midterm exam itself will take about 2 hours for you to take, or you'll be allowed 2 hours. In order to be fair with everybody, I want to make sure that you've allowed yourself a 2-hour block of time in these time windows to take your exam. You're also allowed to bring your calculator as long as the calculator is not internet capable. So something like this is my TI-84 Plus. You can have that, or you could, if you're you can have a little bitty calculator, but the calculators cannot be able to access the internet. The other thing that you can have is in your own handwriting, you can bring in a single sheet of 8.5 by 11 inch paper, which is just a standard size letter piece of paper. And on both sides of this, you can write anything that you like in your own handwriting. Now, you can't photocopy things, and you cannot copy in any way, take a picture of something and use it out of a book. But I would advise you to spend time working with this sheet of paper, with your review sheet, in order to help you get ready for the exam. Now, the structure of the exam is like this. For my classes, can we come over here? For thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, mechanics of materials, and statics, the exam will be 4 problems. It's all math related. There'll be 4 problems, one from each chapter of the material that we've covered. Also on each of your Moodle pages, I've put up some review problems that will look very similar to the problems that are going to be on the exam. Now, this is thermo, so you can see that what types of problems that you will have. The one thing I want to be really clear about is you have to use the property tables. This is in thermo. In other words, you have to use the solution technique that I tell you to use unless there's some ambiguity about that. But you cannot use, for example, the ideal gas law to solve something that tells you to use property tables. There'll be no credit for that. So you have to be able to use the property tables in thermo, for example. Now, if you're in a couple of classes of mine, like I said, you're going to want to choose a couple of different times. And the midterm exam is proctored. That means we can proctor face-to-face if you're here in Powell, or I can proctor you via Zoom. And either way, you need to email me and tell me what day and what time you want to take your exam, or if you're in more than one class, your exams. Okay, now the structure of surveying for both practical surveying and engineering surveying is just a little bit different. So if you take a look at what we've done so far, we've done 4 segments, and the work is a little bit different for engineering surveying and practical surveying. But the 4 homework assignments that you'll submit by the end of this week are going to be what's going to be on the exam. Now, in engineering surveying, there will be 10 questions. 5 of which will be short answer questions, 5 of which will be math questions, math-based questions. Practical surveying, it'll be 10 short answer questions. So, but once again, you get to bring in a study sheet. So if you're lucky, if you're good at writing stuff down, maybe you'll have very close to what you want to say on your exam written on your study sheet. So, every section, let me come down here. All right. So what we will do is you can read the notes for the midterm exam, and then go ahead and let me know when you want to take that midterm exam. And then also you'll be able to submit it through Moodle. Now, another thing I wanted to let you know, all of the exams, if you're taking them via Zoom, will be submitted through Moodle. And I have to have them by 5 p.m. on March 5th, which is Friday. The reason for that is I have to get my midterm grades in. And so when I do midterm grades, that grade is not a permanent grade on your record, but it's just a way of showing you where you are at this halfway point in the semester. So I will go back and grade all of the homework before I submit the final grades. Not the final grades, but the midterm grades. So if you have homework that you've done that you haven't done yet, but that you're going to have done before the midterm, before 5 p.m. on March 5th, I will include that grade in your midterm grade. Same with quizzes. Everything will be open until then. Now, after midterms, the next week will be spring break, so we don't officially have class. But after that, I'm going to close down the first half of the semester unless you and I make prior arrangements. And we'll get started with the second half. But so right now, in all of my courses, I have everything up through the last section, whether that section is labeled as a segment or a chapter. And then I also have the topic on the midterm exam. This is statics, for example. There's chapter 2, there's chapter 3, there's chapter 4, and then here's the midterm exam where we have the schedule, notes, including review problems, and then once again, submitting the midterm. Now, the other thing I wanted to let you know is that when you tell me what time you want to take your exam, and you tell me if you want to take it via Zoom or face-to-face, I need to have that information by Monday, March 1st. So I'm going to ask you to just send me an email and let me know. You will be, whether you're face-to-face with me or whether you're on Zoom, it will be people from your class, but it will also be people from my other classes because it's easier. It just gives people more options. So in other words, I give all of you the option of taking the exam when any of you are able to take the exam. And I've tried to stretch out the exam periods so that there's like a very early one, a middle of the day one, a couple late in the afternoon ones, and then there's a frank evening time on Wednesday, March 3rd. So depending on your work schedule and your other class schedule and your life schedule, you should be able to make these exam periods. Now, if there's a full-on conflict that's not going to allow you to make one of these, or not, if you have more than one exam, if you need different times for one, like if you're in 3 of my classes and you need a different time, what you need to do is to work with me so that we can set that up. Usually this will cover it, but once in a while something strange will happen and we need to make sure that everybody can take the exam. So please, first of all, your assignment by Monday of next week, March 1st, is to email me and tell me what time or times you will take your exam and whether you're taking it face-to-face with me or via Zoom. Okay? And then the next thing is, if those times don't work for you, that you need to email me and let me know so that we can set up a time. Also, of course, you can always text me 307-272-1833, and we can work that out. But in any case, I want everybody to get through the midterms by next week. All right. So as always, I'm available to help in any way that you need. I hope you'll get a hold of me if you need anything in particular, or if something doesn't work for you. But hopefully, I'll see all of you during these times. So I'll look forward to hearing from you by next Monday. Have a wonderful week. Let me know what I can help you with, and I'll hope to talk to you soon.